We're here at Paste Studios at the Manhattan Center with SUSTO. Tell us about your first song, guys.
Well, this song is a daydream, pretty much. I wrote this song in the morning, just kind of thinking about life, I guess. It's called If I Was, and it's a little groovy tune. If I was a savior, I'd help all the people get saved. Dunk their heads underwater just to make sure that they're all okay, they're all alright. Be out of sight. If I was a teacher, I'd spend all my days in school, teaching children how to solve problems, teaching them how to play it cool and follow the rules. Better stay in school. If I was a writer, I'd try to suck you all in, put out some real page turners that you never ever wanna put down again. Hey, I'll suck you in, so let me win, 'cause I am just a singer with electric guitar in my hands, trying to work through my own set of problems, trying to do the best that I can, hey, the best I can. And I'm your man, so come on, be my lover. I promise to treat you right, meet you underneath the covers. I wanna hold you tight, I wanna hold you tight, all through the night. Yeah, yeah. Number one with a gun, yo.
So that was If I Was. If I was in South Carolina, Charleston, hanging with you guys, what would you guys take me to do?
Oh, man, well, I guess it depends on what time of year.
because a lot of times you can go to the beach. It's kind of the most obvious and fun thing to do. But then there's lots of places to go hang out, and there's a cool studio we hang out at a lot, and I don't know, there's plenty of things to do. What do you guys think? Charleston hangs, the park, maybe? Go hang out on King Street.
American,
Yeah, Real American's like the spot we all hang out at. It's like where the shows happen and stuff, so.
Well, I just had Shovels and Rope from Charleston here
Cool, yeah.
last week. I know your friends there. How about High Water Festival? Is that a
High
pretty
Water
cool place
Festival
to
is
hang out?
Definitely something I'd recommend. I wish it only happens once a year, but it's so special when it does happen. We got to play it a couple years ago, and it was like probably one of the top 5 favorite shows I've ever played in my life. And they always have a great lineup, and it's kind of like showcases a good time of year to be in Charleston. It's been bringing a lot of people to like the area, and you know, kind of, I don't know, it's just great because we have a beautiful city, and we were lacking something kind of like that in that genre niche that they've kind of developed, and it's been great. High Water's definitely would recommend.
Well, you were telling me earlier that climate change is pretty close to your heart, and I know Shovels and Rope are really about, you know, cleaning up touring and cleaning up live shows. What's SUSTO doing in that same vein? They tour with their own, you know, silverware and their own straws and make sure they're being very reusable.
Yeah, I mean, we try and do the same type of thing. I mean, like, I think I have like this like underlying dread of like the planet just, you know, going way out of control. And I mean, we do what we can. The thing is, like, you know, we have a bigger carbon footprint than most people because we're in a touring band, because we're in a vehicle every day. You know, like there's a lot that goes along with what we do that is not environmentally friendly. But I mean, we try to offset it by taking water bottles on the road. You know, like eating places that when we can that have like, you know, low impact. But it's hard. And like living in Charleston, you know, we're kind of right on the water, and we've all kind of seen the hurricanes get worse and the flooding kind of get more regular. So it's scary stuff, you know. And I have a little daughter, and like, just, you know, I'm worried about, I mentioned that like earlier, I didn't want to drag everyone down my path of like fear, but it's real. I mean, SUSTO means fear. So like, I guess it's kind of, it doesn't really go too far from the theme of everything for me to talk about what scares me. So,
I mean, but at least you're doing things to offset that fear, like putting out wonderful music, which your next tune, Elton John cover, right?
Yeah,
Daniel.
yeah. It's this is we don't really do a lot of cover songs, but this is one of my my favorite songs of all time, and we actually recorded it here in New York, so it's good to be back in the city playing it. Yeah, it's like 2 a.m. But yeah, it's been a really fun experiment to like bring someone else's song into our set, you know, because we don't do cover songs a lot, but it's like, I feel like one that I can really relate to. I have brothers, and I'm traveling a lot, so like this feeling of like relationships that you have with people and wanting them to be what they were, but you know, everyone gets pulled apart by distance and time. And to me, I know the song, I'm not, you know, I know that may not be what they had in mind when they were writing it, but for me, that's like what I feel it. So it's a fun one for me to play because I feel like I have an emotional attachment to it. So, and we're gonna do it for y'all now, I guess. Yeah.
Daniel is traveling tonight on a plane. I can see the red tail lights heading for Spain. Oh yeah, I can see Daniel waving goodbye. God, it looks like Daniel must be the clouds in my eyes. They say Spain is pretty, though I've never been. Daniel said it's the best place that he's ever seen. Yeah, well, he should know, 'cause he's been there enough. God, I miss Daniel. Oh, I miss him so much. Whoa, Daniel, my brother, you are older than me. Do you still feel the pain from the scars that won't heal? Your eyes have died. You see I can see the red tail lights heading for Spain. Oh yeah, I can see Daniel waving goodbye. God, it looks like Daniel must be the clouds in my eyes. Oh God, it looks like Daniel must be the clouds in my eyes.
Thanks.
So I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but sitting right behind you is actually the November 4th, 1984 recording of Elton John at the Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts, which the fifth song of is Daniel,
Oh wow, man! Full circle. That's rad.
which I think really segues us. Oh, you gonna find it?
Oh, it's over here. Oh, Elton John right here.
Yeah,
Wow. That's
that's
rad.
82. This is July 82.
Very cool.
Well, I think that segues us pretty well right into the next question, which is who influences you guys in this room where we have all these, wonderful musical ghosts? Who really piques your fancy when it comes to music?
I think we kind of all have a little bit different taste. I kind of go all over the place, but like I guess some constants for me. I think Bob Marley and his complete collection is like I'm always finding new little things that I didn't even know about. The Grateful Dead, and then I'm a big Cat Power fan, and Elton John, of course. What about anybody want to throw any other ones in there? Jordan doesn't really listen to music.
Been to the Bar Brothers a lot recently. These guys are awesome.
Yeah, Marshall was trying to decide which shirt he was going to wear, if he was going to wear his phosphorescent shirt or his Bar Brothers shirt, and he decided to go with the like old school phosphorescent shirt. So
I actually put a lot of thought into what shirt I'm going to wear to these things, and I don't even go on camera.
I was just afraid that I might wear the exact same thing I wore last time, and I came pretty close, I think. But probably hasn't left my bag since.
As we talk about influences, you said the meaning of the word SUSTO is fear, and the meaning I found is chronic somatic suffering stemming from emotional trauma or from witnessing traumatic experience lived by others.
Right.
And then it's also specific to Latin Americans, right?
Yeah, so like susto is used colloquially as like fright. Like if you scare someone, they'll be like, susto. Like if you follow like the susto hashtag, it's like people getting scared all the time. So Halloween's a great time to follow that hashtag, by the way. But also, yeah, the name is used for a folk. I guess it's called a folk illness, but it's really like a name for a spiritual sort of PTSD or it's almost like a spiritual hangover. But like I think the word literally means soul loss, and so it's like when something has happened, and so your soul's kind of jumped out of your body. And when I was like studying Latin American cultures and religions and stuff, whenever I was kind of starting the band, and the word kind of jumped out at me because I was like, wow, I feel like maybe I have this. Because at the same time, I had like left the religion I grew up in, and I also was going through a lot of changes in my life. And so I kind of made it my own. And I think through 3 records of writing about my own susto, it's kind of like become a way for me to kind of deal with my fears and like kind of problems that I face in the world, because I have been able to put a name to it, and like it's called susto, so like the project of writing songs about it and kind of the narrative that flows is kind of dealing with all those things that one might call susto, I guess. But yeah,
Can you,
I'm not an academic.
Can you at all elaborate on the specificity to Latin Americans that the susto means? Like you said, a spiritual.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of like,
illness.
as far as my understanding, it's kind of wrapped up within like Latin American Catholicism, and how like it's a very distinct brand of Catholicism that is kind of wrapped up in like spiritual and religious beliefs that came before Catholicism came to the Americas, and I think I think susto is just a word for it in Latin America. I think that's why when you look up susto, it's specific to Latin America, because it's in Spanish. It's like something that's been documented by anthropologists or whatever in Latin America, but I think it's a feeling that's pretty universal and human.
My thoughts were that it might have something to do with, colonialism way back when with, Columbus Day was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And just like that ingrained sort of fear that Latin Americans might have in their lives after being, conquered by the Europeans.
I mean, I could definitely see that being like something that would contribute to like a case of SUSTO on like a mass scale, or, I mean, we're all kind of affected by history, and I think that can draw like the echoes of things like colonialism and that are still around today are definitely drivers of people's personal fear, and they contribute to people's personal anxieties about the world around them, So I would agree with that. I mean, like I said, I'm not an academic. Like I found
You
this
seem
word.
really smart to me.
No, well, I fooled you. But for me personally, I found the word, and I was going through something I couldn't explain and couldn't talk to anyone about, and I needed some way to bring it out of myself. And the word SUSTO felt like a good name for these things I was kind of exercising out of myself, which were songs. So.
Well, as we're exercising songs out of you, we're about to hear your new single, Weather Balloons.
Yes. Yes, we have a version of this song that's on our most recent album, but we have a new version that's coming out that we did with a friend of ours, Christina Cohn from Francis Cohn. So, it's about to get a new spin, but this is going to be a completely different spin because this is stripped down in the Paste Studio. So this one's called Weather Balloons. Yeah. This one's we had a snowstorm in Charleston a couple of years ago, and we never get snowstorms in Charleston. And like some friends and I took acid and like went out and hung out in the town all night like it was a snow globe. And the next day I kind of had this clarity, and also like my heat was out and my water was broke in my house. So like the house just turned into like a tree house basically with like snow tracks everywhere. But I don't know, I could elaborate more, but that's what the song came out of.
Hold me down like a weather balloon and tell me how I could ever forget you. Faster now, we got nothing to do. What if we could fly right out the window? We'll find a new place somewhere clean enough to feel. One look in your eyes, it fills me up with hope, it changes my mind and tells me I'm not dead yet. No, I'm not dead yet. Many times I've stopped and I've seen beauty pass me by on my life screen. 1,000 eyes, do you know what I mean? 'Cause I really love you, I really love you. What if we could fly right out the window? Go find a new place somewhere clean enough to breathe. One look in your eyes, it fills me up with hope, it changes my mind and tells me I'm not dead yet. No, I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead.
So you guys have a new record, or not that new anymore, but you have a record out. It's called As I Lose My Mind?
Ever since I
lost my mind.
I am currently probably losing it too. It's a lifelong process I'm figuring out.
I mean, what made you want to call the album that? Yeah, put it out there for the world.
There's a lot of different reasons. I mean, well, there's three main reasons there that kind of contribute to it. The album, a lot of it is about being on the road and kind of having like lost touch of my life that was before I became a touring musician, like my hometown, like my family, all these people that I used to see a lot. And so I was kind of like, did I lose my mind by chasing this thing down? And like now this is like my job, and I never am around to see anyone. At the same time, a lot of my friends were this is a good segue to the next song, because at the same time, a lot of my friends were like leaving town, so I was missing my last. You know, it was like when your life changes and you're losing people and you're losing a period in your life, it can be painful. So I thought that I had lost my mind maybe, but then also it kind of goes towards the political climate that the record was written in. This is the first SUSTO record that's kind of written since, I don't know, the like divide in our country has become so
The
apparent,
Trump
you know?
era, I believe, is
Trump
what you're
era,
trying to say.
You know, like I grew up in South Carolina. Like my parents were Trump voters, and like I love my parents, but I cannot reconcile some things with them, and it's really hard. And I don't want it to sound like I have a dysfunctional relationship with them. Like we get along because we avoid talking about really important issues. So that's a frustration. I feel like, some people feel like I've lost my mind. The people that I grew up around that maybe their views never shifted and like mine did. And then also it's kind of like a wink at the whole urban legend that if you take too many psychedelics that you lose your mind, because like there was like a number that people used to tell me. But then I thought about it afterwards, and it's like maybe they meant at one time, because I'm definitely not some sort of like, I'm not gonna take like a bunch of LSD at one time. Like I'm a moderation kind of guy. So maybe I just misinterpreted the urban legend and the joke's on me. But yeah, because for me, like my experiences with psychedelics in a controlled kind of moderate way have been very productive, I feel like, in my life. They've helped me deal with some things and actually kind of, I think, opened me up emotionally in ways that might have never happened otherwise. But so that's the kind of the
maybe it's time to dose your parents, and we'll get them away from that Trump voting.
Oh, man, I wish that we could come to like an agreement to go out in the woods and just have like a microdose of mushrooms or something. But my folks, like, they don't drink, they don't like smoke or anything. They like, and I have 3 brothers, and all of us have been like in trouble from early on, But
are your parents supportive of SUSTO?
Like when I started SUSTO, they didn't like it because I was talking to Regina about my time in Cuba. Like I was in a band before I moved to Cuba, and I ended it, and then I started SUSTO kind of along when I was living in Cuba, and I came across this style of like songwriting. It's really like the singer-songwriter tradition of Cuba, and it's called trova. It's like similar to the word troubadour. And it's like lyrically, it's just super confessional and honest to a degree that's like not afraid. It's pretty fearless songwriting, and it's also sarcastic. And so like I wanted to be able to talk about how I felt about my religion and my life and stuff that way. And so I did that with SUSTO, and it was really abrasive to my family at first, and it like scared them. I think they felt like they didn't know me, and like I was like getting all this stuff out there. But then like once it was all out there over the last few years, as I've been like this has been my job, and I've been playing these songs all over the world, and they've kind of come to terms with it, and I think we've found our medium. But it's maybe I just went on some sort of path. I'm sorry, but
That's quite all right. Well, let's hear Homeboy, all about losing touch with home.
Yeah, totally. Thank you guys again for having us too. We love it. We love Paste.
Thanks for being here.
Homeboy of mine, it's time, says he's moving to Los Angeles. He can't go out in town without these people start to panic. You know that she is a friend of mine, and man, I'm gonna miss him. eat and drink and brush up on her Spanish. She's got a right-minded brain, and now I'm feeling manic. You want a new life? Well, I think I'll have one too. Tropical fountain, I wanna dive back into you. I do. Homeboy of mine, I'm fine, yeah, but you know it's been a long time since I've been down in town on my own dime. I got a left-minded brain, I think I'm about to lose mine. I'll have one too. Tropical fountain, I wanna spend my time with you. I do. You want a new life? Well, I think I'll have one too. Tropical fountain, I wanna dive back in you. I do. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Throughout the session, you were getting love from Havana, Cuba, the UK, Sweden, Macon, Georgia, Utah, all over the place.
Oh
which
man,
leads
all
us
our
into
favorite places.
leads us into tour dates. We got you at Brooklyn Bowl tomorrow night with the
Yes.
Future Birds. Going to be in New Orleans on October 19th, Birmingham, Alabama on the 21st, Atlanta on the 23rd, and you can find out all the rest of the dates on SUSTOisreal.com.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.